trans surgery, turns out it's bad. Did we know this? Did we have any inkling? So New York, and this is exciting because this happened in my neck of the woods in Westchester County. New York jury awards $2 million to a teen girl who formerly identified as male in a malpractice case. In what may be the first of many such cases, I hope, a New York jury awarded millions to a woman who no longer thinks of herself as a male, who underwent a double mastectomy 6 years ago at age 16. So this woman began her, I guess, social transition at 15.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal.
And, so this is in Westchester County.
They can't even admit it's in the headline.
No, I know. They don't even call her detransitioner.
So the dude
either.
literally sued, won $2 million, and they're still calling him a woman in the headline. After saying I'm not this thing was done wrongly to me.
It was a girl who transitioned to be a guy. Yeah, I think her name is Fox Varian, a woman who no longer thinks of herself as male, underwent double mastectomy 6 years ago. And this is going to be the first U.S. malpractice case of its kind to reach a trial verdict. The jury found a psychologist and a plastic surgeon liable for medical malpractice, which I think they all should be liable for this, in performing and supporting the 2019 breast removal surgery on Varian in order to treat gender dysphoria. The award includes $1.6 million for past and future pain and suffering, and $400,000 for future medical expenses, according to the Epoch Times. And this is out of EWTN News, by the way. Varian lawyers said she no longer thinks of herself as male, and said she sued, claiming psychologist Kenneth Einhorn, Finkel and Einhorn, and surgeon Simon Chin, Finkel, Einhorn, and Finkel.
Perfect name for this
failed
story.
To meet the standard of care through inadequate psychological evaluation, poor communication between the professionals, and insufficient screening before proceeding with the irreversible procedure. I mean, like, are any of these medical professionals who do this? They're all failing to do their jobs, basically. And nobody should be doing surgery on a minor, period. The case centered on whether the medical team properly assessed her mental health and readiness for gender-affirming surgery, marking a significant development in the growing number of such lawsuits. The legal team, and it sounds like she's got a good legal team around her, and I hope this is just the first of many more.
Yeah, it's crazy they went to a jury trial and everything.
This is going to be like the future lobotomies. People have been saying it for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
But this is the lobotomies of the modern day.
Yep.
It's like abhorrent, man. It's disgusting we're doing this.
I have to assume the parents were on board with this, and it didn't start at 16. Well, this probably started a lot earlier on.
Well, the mother said that she felt like she was being bullied by the psychologist.
She was never into the idea.
She wasn't into the idea. She said that she felt she was being bullied. She felt like it was rushed. And so that's a big part of the problem. Is it's not just that kids are saying this stuff because they're, reading stuff on the internet, or they have their friends that are talking about it or whatever. And there are parents that are like, no, I don't want this to happen to my kid. I don't think this is a good idea. And then the kids, end up somehow getting to a psychologist or whatever, and the psychologist is just affirm everything they say, because the argument that is made on the left is you have to affirm. You can't say, well, maybe this is something else, maybe this is just an awkward phase or whatever. You have to affirm the things that they say, and if you don't, you're gonna have people from the LGBT lobby coming down on you like mad.
Started in the 90s with this. Oh, sorry. Do you have more?
No, go ahead.
With the opiate epidemic with Sackler family and all this, but it was about the medical industry converted into treating pain, and they had to treat the patient's pain instead of their illness. So if the patient was like, I'm in pain, I need more medicine, the doctor was obligated then to give them medicine, or they would be committing malpractice for not acquiescing to the patient's pain. And it's the same kind of thing, the mind state that if this kid's in pain, that's more important than what's right. We have to make their pain go down. So let's just
it's emotional pain, though. It's like, guess what? It's called puberty. We all are awkward in our bodies between the ages of 10 and 30. I don't know for some people. So it's called just wait it out. And studies have shown that these surgeries do not reduce suicide, which is precisely what psychologists will manipulate parents with. They'll say the old line of, do you want a dead daughter or a live son? And people will just throw their hands up like, okay, I don't want my kid to unalive themselves. So it's just very sad, but this is very exciting to see, and I hope things just ramp up, and this is the first of many more cases like this.
I tell my kids I would disown them. They know that clearly from me. You make that decision, like, don't bother coming home for Christmas.
This
Harsh,
is
but necessary.
I think this is going to send a chill and a shockwave down the spines of many psychologists that will be nowhere near this kind of behavior in the future.
Yeah, because if they claim, oh, it's for the good of the kids, it's for the good of the kids. Yeah, okay. How about you agree to do it for free? Like, how about all these psychologists and all these surgeons? If you want to do it for free and prove that you're really helping these kids, okay. But we know it's not about that. We know it's about their commission and making customers for life.
That's it. And it's also, these programs are fun. It's my background is psychology. That's what I studied in college. And you talk about the IRB, the National Review Board, how they do studies. These things are funded top down, and they actually want to put money into it because they're getting money out of it. So they do their studies. Next step is, well, we got to practice things in real life. Money gets pushed into that. So I don't know necessarily if these psychologists or these doctors are on board with doing these things, or if it's just a paycheck. We're going to fund the hospital for doing this. We're going to get funding for research. I think they're evil for that.
It's just a paycheck.
Yeah.
They don't care.
And to Chrissie's point, the idea that they get a patient for life, or the drug companies get a patient for life. You can't just get a surgery and then be like, okay, I'm going to go off on my way and I'm going to be fine. Like, you still need to be on hormone replacements. You need to be on all kinds of drugs for the rest of your life. So there's a big incentive from pharmaceutical companies to have these surgeries. Obviously, the people that are doing the surgeries are making a lot of money. There are people that are ideologically committed to this. And we were talking earlier, it's only like about a 10% detransition rate. And part of the reason for that is because of the ostracization that comes, because the lobby, the LGBT groups that people usually associate with when they're trans, they will disown you. You will get all kinds of crap on, you'll be inundated on Twitter. People will call you names. And so there's a lot of pressure to stay. Even if you're not happy, it doesn't make you happy. And that's probably part of why suicide is so high. It's like, I thought this was going to make me happy. And then when it doesn't, they're like, well, I can't go back because I'm just going to get excoriated on the internet.
They go from
blah,
love
blah.
bombing you to completely ostracizing you. And I'm sure there are far more detransitioners. It's just like they're not statistically measurable.
Yep.
And a lot of the reasons why these kids, particularly autistic girls, are drawn to this social contagion is like, oh, wow, like I'm going to get all this attention. I'm going to like finally feel good in my body. I'll finally like have my place, right? I'll look at how glamorous they make it look on YouTube. All these, all these influencers that they follow. So,
and another thing we were talking about this morning, the rates of body dysmorphia, so like bulimia and anorexia, they've gone down significantly, whereas trans girls or trans boys has gone up, and it's been
I mean, not if you look at Ariana Grande. I think she's holding down those stats all by herself.
Right. But yeah, like the idea that this isn't body dysmorphia, right? That it isn't just kids that feel uncomfortable in their body, like to your point earlier, like that's clearly what it is. And the medical industry, which is supposed to take care of people, has jumped on the fact that kids are insecure, they feel awkward, and they're like, oh, we can take advantage of this, we can capitalize on it. So it's nefarious and pernicious in multiple ways. And I think that first of all, the government should have always been saying, no, we're not going to, this is wrong. You're not doing this. The only time that you will tell a person that the solution for your psychological issue is actually changing your body is this. Like, if someone says, I my hand's not my hand, it's someone else's hand. I know it's not my hand, and I
well,
gotta
if you
cut
sit
it
on
off.
it for a period of time, I'm told it doesn't feel like your hand.
Call it the stranger.
But
It's numb.
Doctors are never like, okay, well, we're going to cut your hand off and that'll fix your problem. It doesn't fix the problem. They still have that disorder, and so cutting off body parts never fixes a disorder.
If you need any more proof of how demonic this is, look no further than what's been coming out recently in the Epstein files. They talked specifically about grooming, creating basically trans kids specifically for sick, twisted adult fetishes. And if you want to do deep dives into that, like Epstein cites like specific examples of why we need to create. It's so disgusting, and it's so absolutely demonic. And I just can't wait for this chapter in human history to be over soon enough. And the first medical major medical organization actually comes out against trans surgeries for minors. This is out of the National Review. The American Society of Plastic Surgeons released new guidance on Tuesday cautioning physicians against performing gender transition surgeries on minors, marking a significant breakthrough for critics of the procedures who have long called on major medical associations to be transparent about the harms associating with medicalizing gender dysphoric children. Exactly what we've been talking about. And so many of these kids just need therapy. A lot of them have been abused, and that's why they hate their bodies.
Why did this take so long? Is my question. Like, it's
money.
Partially because
$1
the
million
woke,
industry.
because
Yes.
like the whole woke thing that was going on for the past decade or so. Like if you said no, kids don't need to transition, you were called all the bad names. People really have grown like really. They've been desensitized to words like bigot, racist, sexist because we've had to. Because that's been used to bully people into being silent. And when you're seeing stuff like this, right, like you have to speak up and say, look, this is wrong, you know, but most people are not used to being called names and they're not used to the vitriol. And if you say something like if you've got a Twitter account and you've got 50 followers or 100 followers and you say something and it gets someone on Reddit notices it, and the next thing you know, your mentions are full of people, you know, 200 people or whatever, calling you all these names. It seems like everyone in the world is beating you up, whether it be Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or whatever. If you normally get 5 comments on a post and you put up a post and there's 200 replies, it seems like so overwhelming. People aren't used to it. So it's like it was an effective tactic to just pile on and basically scare people into silence. And so it's a good thing that people have kind of grown a bit thicker skin. But there, you know, it's a learning curve. People have had to realize that this is not, you're not a bigot for saying, hey, this is wrong. That it's just like, hey, you have to speak up. And there are going to be people that are going to call you names and say stuff, but you have to ignore them because it's not true, you know?
And I think just like with the changes we saw with men and women's sports, remember how long people were saying like, why is no one standing up? Why are there no female athletes standing up? And then we had, what's her name? The blonde.
Riley Gaines.
Right, Riley Gaines.
Yeah.
And then we're like, okay, she's the face of this. Okay. And unfortunately, it seems like it has taken a certain number of detransitioners, you know, girls to come out and be like,
Chloe Cole.
Chloe Cole to be like, I'm a
particularly.
victim of this. And unfortunately, that's, I think, what people needed to kind of really wake up and see, like, yeah, these surgeries don't cure anything.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.